Welcome back to this week's episode of Why Iowa from the Iowa Hall of Pride. Today we're going to have three segments. The first one, we're going to talk about the diversity of the landscape within Iowa. The second segment, we're going to bring you a little bit of Inside the Hall, hearing about Coach Nick Nurse, who was recently named the NBA Coach of the Year. In our third segment, we'll see a little trailer from the newly released Dome Dynasty featuring Van Meter. Thanks for tuning in.
Here in the heartland, this is the working man. These are the fields of dreams of American. No, you can't take that away, 'cause I wanna stay here in the heartland. I'm here in the heartland.
Last week on Why Iowa, we talked about the role the tall grass prairie had played in us developing as one of the premier agricultural states. Iowa is a very diverse landscape, and a lot of people have the assumption that we are a flat state. Well, if you ever ride Ragbri for a week, you'll quickly find out that we are not a flat state. And in reality, Iowa actually has 7 different landforms. Our landforms in this state were cut up when the glaciers came through. And the last glacier to come through Iowa was the Des Moines Lobe. If you come down to Des Moines and you look at the capital, it sits up high. That's the southern tip of the Des Moines Lobe. And that last glacier that pushed through gave us our 5 largest natural lakes, which include Storm Lake, Clear Lake, East Okoboji, West Okoboji, and Spirit Lake. And so within that is our relatively flat area. Now, those 7 landforms vary, and it varies from when the glaciers came through. So if you go way out western Iowa, we have the Luss Hills. The Luss Hills is one of the most unique landforms in the United States. And if you imagine the Missouri River being kind of like a snow fence, thousands of years of fine wind-blown soil coming over the Missouri River and falling on their side created the Luss Hills, which runs parallel along the Missouri River. Then we have the Northwest Iowa Plains, Des Moines Lobe, as we mentioned, the Iowan Surface, the Paleozoic Plateau, the Alluvial Plains, and the Southern Iowa Drift Plain. These landforms all vary with the amount of erosion that took place over hundreds of years. And so once you go south of 80, you're going to notice we have more rolling hills. A lot of people that come through Iowa, they're coming through on Interstate 80, they're coming through on I-35. And so they're seeing what is relatively flat. But when you get beyond the interstate and you get out to our communities, you'll see the beauty and the diversity of our landscape here in Iowa, and you can enjoy all the different outdoor recreation opportunities they have within our state. So the next time you take to the road in Iowa, be sure and also take in the scenery. As a reminder to all our visitors, all Iowa students have free admission to the Iowa Hall of Pride thanks to Musco Lighting.
Man, I don't know. There's so many things. I always say that, like, Iowa nice, Iowa toughness, Iowa spirit, Iowa togetherness is like a real thing. And I don't know. It's just everybody knows I'm from Iowa. All over the NBA, the guys that I see from Iowa. You know, we got an Iowa mafia in the NBA almost, and other people call it that. And I don't know. It's the people. Right, it's the pride that they have that you're here. It's awesome to come back, and how much everybody followed, you know, all over the state, from high school, college. That's what I said to him. I came back and I said, man, the best part about it was sharing it with you everybody here, and I know I was sharing it with you because you all were texting me. Still got my Iowa cell number, 515, right? So I've had the same one ever since I came back from Europe. So there you go. Tremendous honor, right? I think, listen, I lived and breathed sports in Iowa growing up, and obviously it's nice. I think, like, for me, I hope that somebody can see my story and coming from a small town Iowa and be inspired. That's really like where I'm at right now, and maybe some kid will come through here and say I could do that, and maybe they will.
For this week's third segment, we give you a look at the newly released Dome Dynasty featuring Van Meter football.
Nestled near the Raccoon River, the small town of Van Meter rests calmly on the outskirts of Iowa's capital city.
It's small town Iowa at its finest.
It is widely known as the home of the Hall of Fame pitcher Bob Feller. The heater from Van Meter remains a symbol of excellence in the community, and today that spirit of distinction extends to several school activities.
Athletics is everybody's a part of almost everything. You know, in what I've gathered from Van Meter is that if you're not participating in at least 2 different sports, it's almost like you've fallen short.
success isn't some mystical thing that's out there. There's a roadmap out there, and it's finding what works for you guys and what works for our program, and then you go out and you try and implement what works, and then you stay the course. I think that's the biggest thing, is not enough people stay the course to see if what they're doing has results, and if they get frustrated in the short term, and they set those philosophies aside and they start changing what they're doing without really giving it time to allow yourself to see the success and see the fruits of the time and effort and commitment and work that you put in.
Don't drop the ball. Subscribe below to catch the next video. Dow Hall Pride.